Hi, my name is Vadim. It's very nice rainy weather here in Seoul, and we are out in Hongdae to ask the foreigner's opinion on the generation gap or the aging society problem in Korea. Let's go.
Yes. My name is Irene, and I'm from Norway. My name is Caitlin. I'm from the United States.
Oh, my name is Khlib. I'm from Ukraine.
And I'm Sasha and from Russia.
I'm Andy and I'm from New Zealand.
I'm Lincoln. I'm from Canada.
Korea is said to be having a very rapidly aging society. How do you think what the causes of these problems are, and maybe you can think of some possible solutions?
Well, I have some friends who already have children and they're like foreigners living in Korea. So, first of all, I feel like it's kind of hard to have children in Korea since the expenses are extremely high. People have to work a lot here. So, I feel like people in Korea choose like their own life instead of having children. And like I feel that this is the overall tendency in the entire world. Like if we talk about Ukraine, I feel it's kind of the same. We tend to age, like our society tend to age faster since we prefer like not to have children and live like, our own life. But yeah, I'm not sure like 100% about Korea since I'm not Korean, but it was like how I understood what is happening here. So yeah, this is what I wanted to say.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know that much about it. I just see a lot of kind of older people. When I'm walking, like on the weekends, I see a lot of older people who, especially like older women who look really small, and they have like their backs are kind of hunched. It looks like they maybe aren't really eating that many vitamins, or maybe they grew up at a time where that like good nutritious food wasn't available, and a lot of the time they're just like picking up trash, and they're just doing a lot of the like jobs that I think younger Koreans don't want to do. So that's really a lot of the time when I see them most often.
But at the same time, you can see a lot of people dressed nicely in the streets, gathering in groups and doing various kind of activities. Have you seen this kind of people?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe like in like the Gangnam area, a lot of like business people. But I see mostly like Korean men, I guess, who are dressed up like in business clothes. I don't see as many like older Korean women doing that, except maybe a few like English teachers, I guess. But not as many, I guess.
Okay, so in that case, how do you think, what is the cause of such a big gap between the younger generation and the older generation?
Oh, I've heard that younger Koreans don't really have a hard time getting jobs now. There aren't really many like job openings. So I wonder if that's because like the older Koreans are living longer. Maybe they're holding on to those jobs. And so maybe there's a lot of younger Koreans who feel like they have to like move abroad to find jobs.
Okay, thank you. And then what about the situation in your country?
I don't know. I feel like I've actually been in Korea for quite a while now. I've been for about 9 years. Yeah, I'm really moving back soon. So I've heard that now there's like some people think there's a recession coming soon. But there are, I've heard there are job openings, but like the pay isn't as good as what people want, and like so in a way I feel like it's kind of similar to here. There are some openings, but like the pay isn't as good as what people want. And so one of the reasons I came to Korea was because I felt like there were better opportunities here. So
I just feel that like since our countries like Ukraine and Russia are kind of third world country, I feel it's a little bit like also a cultural thing in our countries, like that if you don't have babies in early age, you are kind of judged in Ukraine. So this is one of the reasons why we still have like a little bit higher rates of birth, because people tend to go and get married like in the age of 20, and in Korea people usually get married when they already have like their own career, they have their own like place to live, right? So it takes time, and as we know biologically it's kind of harder with the time to like make children. So yeah, this is another maybe reason why in Korea people are kind of aging society. Yeah, so
What are the possible causes, maybe possible solutions, and the possible influence on the local economy?
I mean, I think we see around the world that like most countries that are highly developing, the birth rate tends to go down. And so I think we see this all around the world. It's particularly bad in Korea though, compared to a lot of other Western countries. I think this might have something to do with like the world getting more and more atomized and Korea being very like adapted. It's very easy to just like do everything alone, just stay at home, just order food. So I think that everyone is getting more atomized kind of makes it harder to like start families, and yeah, I think that contributes a lot to it.
Well, I think it's something that can be quite shocking when you come here, right? Because before coming to Korea, we see a lot of wealth in Seoul, amazing city, but sometimes you see a lot of the elderly carrying the cardboard, that type of thing, and that can be quite jarring and something I wasn't used to. I think a big part of it is just changes in technology over time, and I guess a bunch of the older generation struggled to keep up with that and adapt. What do you think, Matt?
Then in that case, can you make any predictions on economy, how it will affect the economy, the current situation?
I mean, every economy is like dependent on the working force of that country. So the fact that the working force is decreasing, but also the elder population that needs support and kind of relies a lot on tax money makes things really harder to run. And a lot of older people in Korea too, as I've heard, actually need to work because the money that they get paid doesn't really actually support like a living standard that's acceptable. So they keep working until they die basically because they have no other choice.
Then maybe you can share your thoughts on how it will affect the society or the economy in future.
Well, obviously, you know, with the aging population, there's going to be a huge gap to fill of jobs and roles that there's just simply not going to be enough people to fill. So probably a lot of immigration is going to have to happen, which I think socially will be something that Koreans will struggle a little bit with because they are a very homogenous society, not typically used to having a lot of, you know, people from other cultures. And they're going to have to bring in migrant workers like many other Western countries have done. But socially, that's going to take some getting used to, I think, to learn to live with people who are not from your own, you know, culture. You know.
Anything to add?
No, I think you're pretty spot on, because if people aren't having many children, I guess the option is, you know, either have more children or bring people in, and that tension between generations, I think, will become more pronounced. But I guess, yeah, so I'm currently in language school. I was teaching high school students before this, and I think a lot of the students, they feel a lot of the pressure too, because they see that their parents are getting older, and they feel, I guess, more of a responsibility to take care of their grandparents and parents. So it'll be a challenge moving forward, but I do have hope that the country will be able to handle it. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Then what about the situation in your country?
I mean, we're facing a very similar thing. It's been in the news for like forever now about something we call the Eldrebølgen, where it's predicted that the older population is going to grow significantly. So we're facing a lot of the same issues in Norway too.
So it's pretty much similar in other countries as well, you think?
Yeah, I think so.